Problems are everywhere. No matter what we do, how we grew up, who we talk to, who our mentors was, where we went to school, we always have problems. We always have challenges. And I talk with a lot of people, and when they start to talk about their problem, and I say something like, what can you do about it? Or what's your game plan? They immediately go, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So today we're going to talk about the top 3 steps of what you can do when you have a problem. Welcome, ladies, to the Life Mastery for Women podcast. I'm Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, your host. This is where we go to learn to master our life one nugget at a time. Let's take a moment, in this moment, to just call our energy back. Breathing in deeply together through the nose, holding it at the top just for a second. And then releasing. Just release the stress. Release the worries. Release the problems. Calling back our energy is closing all of the mental tabs that you have open of all the problems, the to-dos, the worries. Mentally picture those tabs open and mentally picture yourself clicking the X on every one of those tabs. As all those tabs are open, you have energy strands coming from your body going out to those tabs. And I want you to call all your energy back right now in this moment. Bringing back that energy right into your heart space. Feel your body filling back up with your attention and your presence. You can even put your hand on your heart, feeling the energy, breathing in deeply. Feeling the support underneath you, giving yourself a present, a gift of your attention in this moment. Breathe in, feel your feet on the floor, hold your breath at the top, and breathe out, and feeling your body sinking just a little bit deeper into the support underneath you. Problems are definitely intertwined in our human experience. Challenges every time we turn around, whether it's with our kids, our spouse, the people we work with, over money, extraneous things that are out of our control, the world, the politics, things that are going on. And they're all challenges that we take on. Now, the issue is that, remember, everything is energy. And as we move into problem solving, sometimes we become part of the problem. And I'm going to explain why that is. Now, if we can stand back from our life and understand that there's a lot of problems out there, you're going to have a lot of problems with things, there's lots of challenges, lots of things to overcome, we need to build our skill set. And one of our skills should be problem solving. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the one to come up with the solution, but you definitely have to maybe step out of your own way. I remember telling Bob when who's my oldest son, I remember telling him long time ago, is you only need 3 skills. And those are, number 1, problem solving, number 2, organizational skills, and number 3, relationship building. Those main skills will get you really, really far in your life, and they will help you to succeed in life, no matter what it is you're trying to succeed. So, when we look at life, we want things to be easy, but yet I think easy becomes boring. I certainly want things to be easier for, an hour at a time where I'm not faced with an issue where there's a little bit of a, yay, something's going my way, to like 10 minutes later, you're like, are you joking me? And that's kind of life, right? But there's a way for us to not combat that and resist the problems that are showing up in our life. And I want to give you today my top 3 steps because, listen, you're never going to be without them. You can be 89 years old, been on this planet for, almost 9 decades, and you every single day will be faced with something. And it's either going to be boredom or it's going to be a problem. So I want to talk about that today. How to solve any problem, my top 3 steps. Now, the very first one is an acronym because if we know that there's challenges and problems everywhere we look, then we just have to prepare ourselves for them instead of fighting against it. When we fight against it, we're actually making the problem worse, but we're aiding the energy of the problem. So the very first one is an acronym, and it's actually STOP, stop. The acronym is STOP. Now, let's say you're faced, faced with a problem. The immediate thing to do is to stop, meaning just freeze in that moment of time, because you can't solve it from there. When we are on the scale from 0 to 10, and 10 being we're like really feeling really good and really happy, the problem, let's say you're at like a 3, you are attracting other 3 type scenarios in your life. If you're a 3 on the vibrational scale, you are attracting other 3 type things, experiences, people, situations to yourself, because that's your vibrational frequency. And if you are attracting other 3 type things, and here's this problem, you're a 3 attracting a 3, you're not going to be able to solve the problem from that 3. You must move up. And that is actually the second step. I'm going to go back to the acronym in a second, but that's the second step, is to breathe. So once you stop, I want you to breathe, because stop stands for stop trying on the problem. Okay, I know there's a little extra word in there, but stop trying it on. How can I fix it? How can I solve it? You talk to somebody, you complain about it, you might Google things, but you just kind of sit in that space. You have to stop. So here's a problem that shows up, I'm going to stop. Okay, stop trying it on. The next is to raise your vibration. That's the second step. Okay, first I have to stop. Now, in that energy, depends on the problem, you might not be able to immediately go to step number 2. The first one is stop, get away from, okay? Move away from the problem. Whatever you have to do, stop thinking about it. And then do what you need to move the energy. If you're angry, that's upper body and jaw energy. That's shoulders, arms, chest, upper back. You could go do something to move that energy out. And as you do that, you might 30 minutes, you might take an hour, it depends on how upset you got about it, is you might need to. But as you're moving that energy, and you might need to take more time, do it until you literally feel better. Meaning, if 5 minutes later, you're doing some activity to move the energy, you've stepped away from the problem, but then you stop doing that activity and you go, I want to talk about the problem again, and then immediately start feeling your blood pressure start to boil, your blood pressure start to go up, you're not ready. So go back to doing the activity that you were doing and move that energy out. Then the next is, as you're starting to feel better, if I can talk about the problem or at least mention it without getting upset, then you move on to the next. And that is to raise your vibration. Because what you've done is, once you've stopped, you're still a 3. Once you've on the scale, on that vibrational scale, you're still a 3. But what I want you to do now is to raise your numbers. So then ask yourself, this is step 2 still, ask yourself, what can I do in this moment to increase my numbers? Now, I use the hot air balloon. I use this analogy. There's a lot of analogies. I use them for several different things. A hot air balloon. So picture a hot air balloon in your backyard or in a field or something. It's got sandbags, tied to ropes that's holding it on the ground. And that's a problem, let's say, that level. Now, when you begin to get in the hot air balloon, you're in the basket, and you're starting to cut away at those ropes, leaving the sandbags in the field, what happens to the hot air balloon? It begins to rise naturally. So when you cut away those problems, let's say, and the hot air balloon begins to rise, you are setting yourself up for a higher perspective in solving the problem. This is one of my favorite things to do, that sometimes I look for problems, right? Now you got to be careful. You don't want to walk around starting to create chaos in your life. But I'm waiting for something to show up, and then I want to practice these steps. The first thing is, okay, there's a problem. I want to stop. Okay. Then I'm going to breathe. Where's my vibration? Oh, I'm a 3. Okay. I'm going to raise my vibration. What can I do right now to raise my vibration? And I go do that. Sometimes I go work out. I go for a walk. I go outside. I play. I told you I got a couple of dartboards for Christmas. It's like stupid fun. I might go play darts. I might just go lift some weights. I might just go walk on the treadmill, something that raises my numbers. And then I check in again. Where am I at now? How do I feel? Oh, I feel pretty good. What's my number? I'm a 4. Okay. Is there something else I can do? Can I talk about the problem without getting upset? Yes. Can I solve it from here? Maybe not. Maybe I don't have a solution yet. That's okay. Do you remember long time ago, we used to hear people say, you get a big decision, like let's say your boss is going to want to promote you to a position and you're not sure if you want to take it because just, last week you were thinking about quitting your job, and he goes, just sleep on it. Well, that's step 3. The sleep on it part. Now, the sleep on it, why do they suggest that? Like, what does that even mean? For one, it gets you out of your own way. I've talked about the brain waves before, and I'm not going to go deep in them today, but when we're up and awake, we are in beta brainwave, which is, in my opinion, it's the problem-causing brainwave, but this is your very awakened state. From this awakened state, you're very logical in your brain, okay? You can solve 2 + 2, but you can't always solve emotional problems or relationship problems or make decisions about things. So the sleep on it, when someone suggests that, what they're meaning is getting into a lower, slower frequency brainwave that is either alpha or theta. Those 2 brainwaves are very, very close in their meditative state. That means you have access to a higher version of you. You have access to your higher self. You have access to your intuition, to source energy. From here, my friends, this is where you can get into and tap into some amazing solutions. And have access to a higher perspective, just like you cut all of the ropes that were holding the hot air balloon down and you are now soaring above the whole city. And you have an amazing perspective. So that is step 3, connecting to source energy, to God, to your higher self, to intuition, to help you get a solution to the problem. One of my favorite things to do, I call the alpha technique. Now, the alpha is the brainwave, and this technique, I coined this, I guess probably 3 or so years ago. And it was really fun. I learned about the brainwave several years ago. And then when there's a problem, I'm like, okay, I need to get out of beta. And you're in this heightened awareness state. You can't solve the problem from there. And as Einstein says, you can't solve the problem from the same brain that caused the problem. And that's totally true. And I never really understood that until I learned about the brainwaves. Now it totally makes sense. So the alpha technique, and I think I've explained it a couple of times in the podcast, I'm not sure, but the alpha technique is very, very simple. So let's say, here's a perfect way to practice this technique is when something is lost, when you can't find your keys, you can't find your sweatshirt, whatever, okay, and you don't remember where you put it, is to stop looking, stop playing with the environment, to stop no matter where you're at, so stop looking, take a deep breath, and set the intention. I am looking for my blank, my sweatshirt, okay? And you're standing in the middle of the living room. You've looked everywhere, so you say, and you can't find it, okay? You're at the same level where you created the problem. You can't find it from there. So stop what you're doing, take a deep breath, and then I want you to close your eyes. When you set the intention, I need help finding my sweatshirt. When your eyes are closed, after you make the statement and you set the intention of what you're doing and what you're looking for, is to close your eyes but look up. Like you're not so far up in your head that you're hurting yourself, but just gently look up with your eyes closed and count backwards from 20 while you imagine finding your sweatshirt. You're eliciting a completion of this whole alpha technique, meaning I want to look for the sweatshirt. I want to find my sweatshirt. How would I feel when I find it? And I want you just to end that 20 seconds and count those 20 seconds out loud while your eyes are closed, while your eyes are gently pointing up. Now, the reason that your eyes are pointing up is because you're accessing the alpha brainwave in that moment. Just a teeny tiny little bit. You are accessing it simply by looking up with your eyes closed. So when you do that, be ready, because as soon as you're done, you're going to walk right to where your sweatshirt is. I am 100% success on this. I have found all kinds of things when this has happened. Matter of fact, I have 2 turtle stories. I have 4 turtles, and this was 2016. So I guess I've been using the alpha technique, and now it's 2024. 2016, I had a turtle that was in a pond on my deck out in the back of my house. And I go out in the morning to check on him, and he was gone. He was away from that, and I had him for, at that point, it was 16 years. And because I got these 2 turtles specifically in 2000, and one of them I still have. Anyway, this particular one got out and was gone. And of course, I am like frantic. This has never happened in the 16 years I've had a turtle. I was like out of my mind and I was really, really, really upset. I called my friend who's like my turtle expert friend. And she says, go and look, like, you probably didn't get far, go and look like under this and over here and under the bushes out in your front. I have this landscaping, out in the front and the side of the house, and go look under these things and whatever. And so I go and look and I can't find him. I come back in the house and immediately it's like a 2x4 to the head. I just like close my eyes. I stop. I'm completely frantic. It was really, really hard to do. I closed my eyes and I looked up, and from 20, I counted back and I said, please help me find Monet. And by the time I got to 0, I literally walked out the front door around my house as if somebody told me where he was. I went right to this hostas plant. I reached underneath it and I grabbed him. That was the first time I used that technique. That was the most powerful for me. It was absolutely 1,000% amazing. And that has happened. And then I had another turtle. I have 4, and out on the deck, I build this pond and I come out and I always kind of do attendance is what I call it. And I'm counting turtles, and there's 3. And I'm like, okay, this is now Monet the second. Where's Monet? And, she's small. She's quite a small turtle. And I'm like, oh crap, whatever. And I get all frantic and whatever. I'm in the backyard and my deck is up a level. So I can walk under my deck from outside. So anyway, I'm outside in the backyard and I had Amy come out and look and oh my God, I can't find my turtle, whatever. And I stop, I'm in the backyard. I count back. I said, please, same story, different turtle. Please help me find Monet. And count back from 20. And literally, as soon as I get to 0, I walk back up through the house and around through the house onto the deck and walk right behind the deck and lift up this piece of wood. And there she was. And it was like as if somebody told me. So I have done this with my keys. I've done this with clothing. I've done this with a $20 bill that I misplaced. I've done it with all kinds of lost items. This is one of the most powerful techniques that I have ever used, that I've created along the lines of learning all about how you access different perspectives and different higher planes of your thinking. And what this does is it allows me to access that higher perspective that will just give me a little nudge when I want to go somewhere. Now, I have not done this yet with solving a problem. However, what I do, and I'm going to invite you to do this because I've not done it yet, but I think the Alpha technique could help you solve a problem and giving you a solution. Help me get a solution to this, whatever problem you're trying to solve. Now, I will try it. Now that the idea just came to me, I use the Alpha technique for lost items. However, I think it would help with a solution. But what I do, similar, instead of the counting down, is I get into that relaxed state. I stop doing what I'm doing. I stop solving the problem. I stop talking about it. I stop trying it on, and I take a deep breath and I get grounded. I sit down in my meditation chair. I usually wear Crocs in the house. So I take my Crocs off so I can feel my feet on the floor. I can feel my body in the chair, and I just breathe. I just breathe in deeply. I don't think about the problem. I don't talk about it. I'm not complaining about it. And I close my eyes and I just wait. And sometimes I sit for 20 minutes. Sometimes I sit for an hour and I wait and I wait and I wait. And I say things like, I'm listening. I'm waiting for a solution. Guide me in a solution to this problem. And I get one. I get solutions to problems all the time. And at least what it does is gives me something else to try. It gives me a different way to look at things. When I'm in that heightened beta brainwave state trying to solve the problem, I can only see one or two things. Both of those things don't work to solve the problem. And so then I turn around and go, okay, I need a different perspective. I can't see another way from here. So just to recap, first thing you do when you're faced with a problem or a challenge and you can't solve it right away, stop. And it's an acronym that is stop trying on the problem. Just stop. Stop talking about it. Stop complaining about it. Stop trying to fix it from there. The next is to breathe. And if you need to move the energy because you're in a heightened state, then move your body to move the energy out. Okay. Anger is in the upper part of the body, same as frustration or any form of fear. Any form of anger. If it's fear, it's going to be in the gut. Move your body. Move your body. Breathe deeply in and out of your belly. If it's grief or loneliness or sadness, then, and that's in your heart, then expand your chest. Open your chest, open your chest up, throw your arms back, throw your head back, and really open it, and do a couple of those movements to allow the energy to release. Now that energy acts like the hand inside the puppet, and it moves and manipulates your body, and you're doing things that you're not meaning to do. So you have to take control of your body. You have to become a new hand in the puppet that says, you know what, we're going to do this instead because how this feels is terrible and I want to move this energy out. Then as you're breathing, then the next is to raise, well, not the next, it's all part of that same one. As you're moving that energy out is to breathe. Breathe in deeply, center yourself, ground yourself. And then the last step is to connect. You can do the alpha technique, or you can sit in like a meditative state. Once you've calmed down, you'll be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do this from step one. You have to kind of move the energy, get refocused, get grounded, then connect and ask. Ask for a solution. Ask for a solution. And somewhere in step 2, I don't know if I just said it just now, but is raising your vibration. Move the energy out and then do what you can to raise your numbers. This is really a way to empower yourself to tackle problems as they come up. And it becomes kind of fun. You know, it's almost like, you know, you play a game, you play a video game or something, and you move on to the next level, and the boss gets bigger and badder and throws more things at you. And you're like, come on, bring it. Because every level I'm learning new skills. And this, my friends, is another level up. So go out there and enjoy the game. As we conclude today's episode, I'm thrilled to share something special with you, our Rise Up and Revitalize virtual retreat. Imagine a transformative experience designed to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. It's not just a retreat, it's an invitation to rediscover your potential. Are you curious? Join us for a journey of renewal and empowerment. Visit the link that I added in the show notes to learn more and embark on the next journey of your vibrant life. Until next time, keep looking for those nuggets.